morning of March 19, 2026, Orange County Building Safety inspected the building at 7343 W Sand Lake Road in Orlando, and occupants were evacuated. Inspector Gilbert Mercado documented unauthorized exterior stucco repairs, an unpermitted retaining wall at the dog park area, and, most critically, structural damage severe enough to deny occupancy under IPMC Section 111. The formal field investigation report, FIR 26030234, was issued 4 days later on March 23. No one may return until a Florida licensed engineer or architect completes a full structural assessment. Repair plans are submitted to Orange County for review, permits are pulled, and all work, performed by a licensed contractor, passes inspection. On January 21st, unpermitted stucco repairs were already underway at 7343 West Sand Lake Road, and by February 8th, the work was finished, just 6 weeks before the building would be evacuated by the county. On March 19th, Orange County inspectors found structural cracking serious enough to evacuate the entire building. They also flagged this retaining wall at the dog park, built without permits. Groundwater flow and fluctuation in Florida is not like other parts of the continental United States. We are part of the Caribbean seafloor, which collided with Georgia some 25 million years ago. Florida is complicated for the untrained observer. It has a sandy land cover owing to its geologic formation, and it's positioned between the Gulf and the Atlantic unlike any other state, taking heavy doses of rainfall year after year. But a large part of that rainfall does not run off and flood low-lying land. Instead, it soaks into the ground and begins a journey that may take 6 months to 24 months, traveling relatively slowly underground, until it eventually gets on a bus, where it changes its name to surface water and discharges into a lake or a stream, and fully stabilizing about 4,500 years ago. What we have today is the product of 45 centuries of conditioning, a memory that is very hard to alter suddenly. Spring Lake's groundwater was accustomed to getting on the bus at a much higher elevation, and those habits are hard to change, even though the lake has been lowered for flood control. The groundwater did not sign up for that plan, and that is why it is producing full saturation 4 to 5 feet above the lake level, killing all the grass. Grass can survive floods, but it cannot survive full saturation because it needs oxygen. This is what we see here at the Rialto shoreline as Mother Nature tries to reassert herself. Groundwater flow towards lakes in southwest Orange County is driven not by a single storm, but by the total rainfall over 18 months, typically a dry season sandwiched between 2 extraordinary wet seasons. When that 18-month total is around 80 inches, things are normal. When it exceeds 110 inches, lakes without overflow structures flood as though they experienced a major hurricane. Those who were here in 2004 and 2005 remember. The lieutenant governor came to tour Big Sand Lake on October 18, 2004 to work on a fix. That was the worst on record. Spring Lake has an outfall so it doesn't flood, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. When the water table rises to those extreme levels, groundwater pushes into the lake from all sides with tremendous force. That seepage pressure doesn't just move water, it moves soil. Fill material placed along the shoreline that isn't locked into the native ground gets pushed, displaced, and carried into the lake. The lake didn't flood, but the ground around it was under siege. The Rialto opened in 2015. Look at what happened after. 3 wallops. 103 inches by October 2019. 101 inches by September 2020, and 107 inches by November 2022 after Hurricane Ian. 3 times in 4 years, the groundwater forces acting on Spring Lake's shoreline were strong enough to move any fill that wasn't anchored in place.